Well, hello, hello. How's everybody? And we're here. And Mary's on her way. She had a birthday party in a park and left there 5 minutes ago. Well, maybe 10. But she's rushing to get back. So we'll see her in a little bit. Oh, glory. I had a birthday party yesterday for my brother. It was a big family party. We had about 30 family members and old friends who were like family members show up, and enough food for an army. I got to load my freezer with fried chicken, enough to last a month. That's if I eat it once or twice a week. So not like every day. Let's see who's here. Christy is here. Master Black has gone to bed. Gollymon has gone to bed. Lee Wilcox has gone to bed. As I said, I'm putting everybody to sleep before even the bed even began. They popped in before the before the stream started just to say hello. Very nice of them. Fishing Tactics, excuse me, is here. Fanaticals, Christy, Robert Mulder, Bass Queen 71, JBVM PSMTR is here. What's Bass Queen saying? Doing good back from running to the store. Well, good. You beat Mary. Mary didn't make it back. And she didn't go to the store. She went to a party. Well, that's probably worse, actually, because that'll tie you up more. So it was nice. We have a couple of members of our family who are inveterate. What's the word for people who maintain historical records of family ancestry? Whatever. Anyway, they put together a book for my brother for his birthday that's really quite nice. They also made one for my daughter, which she was delighted to get. She was at the party, got to see my daughter and my granddaughter. And I have a big box of pictures that I've been sticking in drawers for years and years and years. And I asked her if she was interested, and she was delighted. Turns out she didn't have many pictures of her childhood, so we got a lot. So I'm going to give them all to her and let her go through them. There are a few in books, but most are loose, including movies. So hopefully she'll be able to get those put on CD or disc or something so she can view them. A lot of them are family movies, so that'll be nice. You know what? Last night, I think we're being stepped on. We were on last night with EJ and Luke and some other folks, Joshua, on Discord, broadcasting here. We never got to 20 viewers. And I'm looking right now, it's 9. Was that 10 dropped off one? I don't know what's going on. We may have to pick another time or something. We're normally we're at 40 to 50, and it's dropped way down. And I don't think our style has changed. I think there's some competition. I don't know. Strange stuff. Let's see. Did a video this week. Vince Lee. Hi, Vince. Did a video this week. I had someone made a comment. I think it was in Discord about what to do with that old tank that's sitting in the corner that's lost all its verve. What do you do with it? So I thought that was a really clever idea. So I did a video about the stinky old tank and what to do about it. And it's done really well. I think in 2 days, we're up over 800 views. It just really kind of remarkable. Let's see where it actually is. Remarkable. Nana. Hello, Sketty. Fish and Shrimp by Rich. Hello, hello. You may be late, but you ain't missed nothing. We're just chatting. I wanted to look at the activity on the new video and see where we were at with it. Let's see. Dooby-doo. Slow, isn't it? Goodness sakes. I think I'm due for a new processor. This is painfully slow. Gracious. It ain't just slow. Here we go. I changed the title and the picture when it hit 700. It's now called Father, what is it? Father Fish saved my stinky dirty tank. Now my wife loves it, with a picture of a young woman holding her nose with a tank in the back. We've all been there, haven't we? Let's see. Analytics. Is it going to do it? Lord. Here we go. That ain't it. That's comments. Analytics. 842. Well, that's pretty good. 130 in the last 48 hours. So, should have hit 1,000 by Monday or Tuesday. Oh, what in the world's going on? Whoosh. Wow. Let's see. We have, this is something we ought to look at. The new Natural Aquarium Live. And this is an aquarium. Uh-oh. Just spilled water on my keyboard. I've been dropping things today. I think my hands are oily or something. Oh dear. I'm in trouble holding it together. I am. What was I going to do? I've lost track. Right. Here it is. This is Sean in Georgia. This is a 24/7 live stream. We right now have, I think, 3 or 4 people who have pictures, live videos, cameras of their aquarium, and we're doing 5-minute intervals. Let's see what the next one is. Oh, this is Silver Creek in Texas. So these are really neat. I think we're gonna try to get a music background. We'll have as many as 10. We'll probably limit it to 10, maybe 12 since it's 5 minutes. So it'll roll over, repeat every hour. for 5 minutes. But we have people, got a woman in Holland, Tisha, is trying to come up. She may be here this evening. She said she was going to try to make it tonight. We'll see if she does. Samuel in the Philippines has been talking about coming up. Oh, 2 minute intervals currently. Horizon says four and with 4 feeds. Oh, that's cool. So he's cut it down. We have 4 feeds at 2 minutes each. So we can handle unlimited numbers. Oh, Tisha is on. Oh, wonderful. Good. Didn't know whether she was going to make it or not. She's got a phone like mine that tends to overheat. But if anybody can work that out, Sir Luke can. Fish and shrimp by Rich. You need to get on this fish and shrimp. You got some nice tanks you can show up. And Fanatical is saying, not the sticky life. That's terrible. That's terrible. Terrible. Ooh. That is Luke's tank. So cool. A little 10-gallon saltwater tank with absolute minimum maintenance on it. It's a deep substrate saltwater tank. JBVM. Over here is midnight. I have to get up for work in 5 hours. Wow. Enjoy being around the wonderful people. Well, we love having you here too, JBPM. It's really nice to have you. Oh, let's see. Yeah, Fanatical saying strange that the normal crowds are not with us. Yeah, football, Bass Queen says. That could be. That could be. That could very well be. Somebody mentioned that the other day. We were simultaneously broadcasting. What, a World Series game or something. We may have to change our times. Very smoky. Hello, hello. Good to see you. The Long Family Shoal. Oh, well. Football. I'm talking about this tank and not showing it there. That is Sean in Georgia. This is a food web tank, and it has baby rams. If you look in the bottom left corner, you can see the babies. They're not rams either. They're pistos. Baby apistogrammas. There are at least 2 schools of them in there. They're 2 different sizes of babies. Very, very cool tank. The food web is actually a little more than detritus and leaves that as they break down or broken down by microfauna create food for the baby fish. So hence the baby fish are able to thrive in a tank like this. That's a rather small fish. So that's pretty cool stuff. So there's that. Another new thing that we're doing, we have a new channel called the Natural Aquarium. Now, we haven't started doing much with it yet. My notion has been for it to grow out of the Discord channel, and for the Discord channel to provide much of the content for it. I don't know how that's going to work out. This 24/7 is another part of that. It's being broadcast on the new channel, but we're putting it on Father Fish as well, just so people will know about it a little better. Let's see who's coming up now. Well, that's Silver Creek. So we're right now back and forth between Silver Creek and Georgia. Let's see if I can get over. Fanatical said you can only have one pastime, and that should be fish. Well, there you are. We need to enforce the rules. That's the problem. We're being much too flexible and open-minded with people. We need to, once they agree to the rules, that you have one hobby, which you can have football as your hobby. That's fine. But then you can't have fish, you see. I don't think that'll work. Fanatical. Oh, that's funny. Bass Queen is too big a fan. Said she forgot to get the leaves out of the lake yesterday. Yeah, I'm finally finding some bodies of water I can get into that are pretty nice. I just have to remember where they are as I drift around through the communities. Oh, I see. Miss Tisha has the lights off, so we can't see her today. We need to get her a blue light. 1, 2, 3. Right. Okay. That's cool. I would have mine up, but I'm trying to get it on a tablet, and I can't get into the stupid tablet. It's locked, and every time I try to unlock it, I fail. So I'm going over it. I got it through my phone, through AT&T. So I'm going to go over there tomorrow and tell them to unlock the thing. I spent an hour fiddling around with it, and I kept getting the codes, the PUK code. Didn't do a bit of good. It just didn't recognize it. So we'll see if they'll fix it tomorrow. Let's see, Horizon. Who did that? Oh, it shows. Yeah, it shows your own tanks. Yeah, I can. I had them up for a little while. My camera doesn't reach. I could put them on film. I'll tell you what. I'm getting fish this week from Andres at Bioaquatics. So right now I don't have only a few fish. So once I get them in there, JBVMPSMTR says, would you say a few words on old tank syndrome? Well, sure. There are two things that happen with an old tank. It either gets boring, which really should never be the case. Or it simply gradually dies off. The plants die, the fish die. It may wind up with one fish left in it. And it becomes a nuisance, something that you got to get rid of. What I've discovered about old tanks is that the substrate in them, whatever it is, if it's gravel, sand, marbles, stones, whatever it is, if it's been sitting there for a year or more, that substrate is as good as gold. But you got to be able to capitalize on it. And the way to do that is with sand. You simply pour right through the watercolor. So long as it's sand that's not real dirty or has a lot of fine material, like beach sand, rinsed sand, swim pool filter sand. Pour it right into the tank. You want about 2 inches on top of that old substrate. And then put some plants in. You can push them all the way down into the old substrate, 2 inches down. Those plants will jump up. When you put that sand in, all of a sudden you've changed the dynamics of the substrate. Before doing that, if you had gravel, the water was flowing through it. So the material in the bottom was detritus. It was breaking down and going right back into the water column. You had this, if you had any kind of flow at all, it was going through the gravel, if not washing up the dirt, then washing up the dissolved material. So you wind up with a lot of algae because the water is laden with nutrients. You wind up with a tank that's dirty or the water's dirty because you're not keeping that detritus out of the water column. So you put that 2 inches of sand on there. And it is glorious what it's able to do. The first thing that happens is any material that's floating around in the water column settles on the bottom, sifts down into it, and is taken away from the water column. That's miraculous enough. But then as it goes down in there, because it's coming in contact with more and more anaerobic layers, as it gets deeper, there's less and less oxygen, so it breaks down. Anaerobic bacteria takes over, breaks it down. Now, you don't want to go stirring that up. You want to leave it, once you do this, you have to leave it absolutely alone. You never clean it. You never go in there and stir it up. You absolutely leave it absolutely alone. Don't mess with it. Don't touch it. Don't do anything to it. Leave it alone. And it begins to provide then, begins to break that waste down into material that plants can take up as nutrients. That's really the key. And that doesn't happen until it gets into an anaerobic layer. So you put plants in there, and they almost immediately begin feeding on it. It's old material. It's been there forever. Breaks down real easy. It's like gold. And suddenly this tank that was languishing, that was yucky with algae, that probably smelled, that had dead everything in it. Suddenly it's full of life and thriving. If you add some leaves into it, like we just saw, you could crunch them up and put them in. If you collect some wild, that's better because that brings in all kinds of life from the wild and seeds it into your tank. Baby fish and little fish absolutely love it. It is the foundation of their nutrition. It's called a food web because that's what it is. It's the basis of the food web. In every freshwater environment where there are trees, not on the tundra, although there are plenty of plants there, but in freshwater environments where there are creeks and streams and rivers, the primary food source is the leaves of trees, whether it's in the tropics, in semi-tropical or temperate zones. The foundational material of the food web is tree leaves. They break down slowly. They don't foul the water. They form the nutritional component as they're broken down more and more of the microscopic fauna, starting with fungus and bacteria. And then the waste from the bacteria is taken up by microfauna. The waste from the fungus it becomes the humus. It becomes the substance of the dirt that everything is able to be nurtured in. So it creates a natural environment, one in which everything can live and everything can feed. Now, I'm not talking about your 12-inch Oscar. I'm talking about nano fish and nano tanks. Oh, you can do this. You can do this with big fish. It's called a pond. And that's exactly how ponds work. They create an environment that'll produce lots of little fish that the big fish are able to eat. Nano aquarium guy. Hello, hello. So that's what you want to do. You want to be able to create a natural environment. And frankly, if you've got an old tank sitting around, you're 90% of the way there. All you need is a couple inches of sand on top of that, and you are good to go. Polyfish, if you already have a deep substrate, this is crystal. What are signs to watch out for that indicate you need to add more sand? Very simple. Great question. If you're seeing mulm building up on top of the sand, that means that there's not enough sand in there to contain the slow flow of detritus through the sand into the deeper substrate. So you add another half inch of sand. That'll take up that detritus, that mulm. If there's still some, add another half inch. Go half inch at a time. And it'll reach a depth, a level, where it'll be able to handle all of the detritus that's flowing through. Really good question, Chris. Bacterial control. That's a different issue. if you're having bacteria problems in your tank, it's because you are overfeeding your fish. There's too much organic waste material of a specific sort. Now, leaves are organic waste material, but they're not like food, fish food, prepared fish food. If you overfeed prepared fish food, that breaks down much faster than tree leaves do. Tree leaves can take an entire season to break down. Prepared fish food takes about 12 hours. In fact, it starts breaking down the minute you put it in the water. That's why it's so vitally important to not overfeed. And in fact, if you can avoid ever feeding any prepared fish food, particularly in nano tanks, you're that much better off. It's simple enough to raise in a resurrection jar microfauna and pour it into the tank. It provides just a wealth of food for every little fish in there. Nano aquarium guy, first class fish, hello. I capitalized by capitalizing. Who said that? Restore the Chromebook. Control Alt Shift plus R. That's interesting. Huh. Vince Lee. Speaking of leaf litter, I noticed my Autosynclus feeding on the leaves in the back, or at least it's sucking on it. Yeah, it's feeding on it. It's probably getting algae, other little particles that are broken down. Could be getting bacteria slime that's growing on it. That's the nature of it. That's the nature of it as a food source. It's not that the leaves are eaten by the fish, they're not. But it's everything that feeds on those leaves that gets eaten by the fish. My bristlenose treat is dried maple leaves. Well, there's an exception. Yeah, they get the bristlenose. Another good one is the rubber lip, the Plecostomus. They chew on everything. They chew on it. They chew it down to the point where they actually will chew on wood and digest the wood. They're getting a certain amount of nutrients out of that wood, but they scrape it and chew on it just like the leaves. Fanaticals, they do hate UK. Every time I plan to collect autumn leaves, it chucks it down with rain. Rain for days. Well, you can still collect wet leaves. Nothing wrong with wet leaves. Never had success keeping floating plants, Fanatical says. Well, that may be because you don't have any nutrients in your water column. Generally, whatever fish are in the water will provide adequate nutrients for plants that derive their nutrients from the water column, like Java fern, Java moss, Rickia, duckweed, all of those kinds of things, the Anubias? Yeah, Anubias. The fish urinate, and that creates ammonia, which creates nitrates, and nitrates form a basic building block for plants. So add some more fish to the water. See if that makes a difference. You could put a tiny amount, a very tiny amount of fertilizer in there. I almost recommend you don't, but if you're having trouble getting it going, you might try that. Or put leaves in. If you put leaves in, that's going to create humic material and nutrients in the water column. Um, so there are a few things you can do about that. Ray Smokey says my gold brittle has become orange with dark dots from dark driftwood. Fanatical saying he fertilizes twice a week. Well, then stop. If it's not working, don't do it anymore. It may be counterintuitive. The problem with liquid fertilizers is that it burns things up. It very quickly becomes much too strong. And if you're putting it in there twice a week, the least little bit of fertilizer that you put in the tank takes, if you put a drop per gallon, it will take months for that drop to actually be assimilated. So if you're putting fertilizer in every week, you're burning everything up. Stop doing it. That's likely why you're not getting any growth, because there's too much nutrient in there, and it's killing the plants. Java fern and Nubius. Fish are going to provide. In point of fact, you really can't get plants to grow until you have fish in the tank. They're a vital part of it. They're a vital part of the food chain. Unless you're synthetically dosing that tank, plants won't grow unless you got fish in there. So you have to have the whole kit and caboodle. You got to have everything. You got to have plants, fish, dirty substrate, sand, and then it'll take hold and it'll grow. Yeah, fanatical, I'm guessing that it's too much. Try not doing it at all for at least a month and maybe 2 months and see what happens. It's not working now. Try without it and see what happens. Nano aquarium guy. Hey Nano, good to see you. Huh, Crowbuck, I ought to do that. I'm having problems with my. Well, that's not the problem. My SIM cord is locked. It's the problem currently. So, and there's no SIM cord in that machine, so I don't know what that means. I'm befuddled by the whole thing. I think I'll just go over to AT&T tomorrow. I took it there before, and they said, ugh, ugh. They didn't know what to do about it. So we'll take it back, and I'm going to hit them over the head with it. I bought it from the Fools a year ago. They've been less than helpful. I've collected a little bit Nana aquarium, not much because um, I'm not real stable yet. I'm trying to build up enough stamina that I can go up and down embankments. Everything is embankments, so I've got to be able to negotiate the embankments, and that's hard to do with the conditioning and trying to lose weight and trying to build some muscle in my legs. I'm hoping by the spring I'll be able to do better, but I have located a few places that look pretty good, so I'm excited about that. Found a new one today. I need to get a device that allows me to tag those places so I can get back to them. Oh, water wisteria. It's a nice plant. Water wisteria can that will root, as will water sprite. They'll grow, and the water guys will. There are a lot of things that will. Most of the stem plants will, not all of them, but anacris will. Guppy grass, of course. You can plant them or let them float, and they'll grow either way. Hmm. That's queen. I don't know what I did to my dirt, but I only put a fraction what I usually use and a lot of sand. Plants are crazy, and string algae removed every 2 days. Been like that for 6 months. I don't know. It sounds good to me. String algae is about the most common algae, and it's really about the easiest one to remove because just pinching a little of it, pulling it up, it's all attached, and it's pretty strong. It's got pretty strong what's the word, tensile strength. So you can manage to get it all out pretty easily. Too much flow. I doubt that. I've had the same thing happen with just the opposite. Tanks with no flow. And they'll just go nuts. I had a couple of them that had, I guess, duckweed or something on them, frog's bed or something. So I couldn't even see down in them. But they were loaded with plants, just solid, top to bottom with plants. And there wasn't much in there. Sponge filter, yeah, that's what I use. A lot of sponge filters. They're easy, they're convenient. They give you a little bit of water flow, not too much. They provide a little supplemental, nutrient rich filtration. Too much float? Probably not. Hard to say. Eventually the hair grass, you'll be able to get control of it. Eventually you'll get all of it out. One magical day, you'll pull it out and pull it out and pull it out. And all of a sudden, you will have pulled the last strand of it out. And it won't grow anymore because you got it all. It does happen. It takes a while, but it happens. Only a bit there. Oh, dooby doo. Mary is late, isn't she? I think Mary is a no-show, actually. We got about 10 minutes left out of the hour, and she ain't made it. Thought she was rushing. Well, you never know. You never know. Things happen. What in the world? Oh, that's that's my bathroom with the open doors. Ah, don't need to shut that. Tomorrow, my brother is coming over, and we're gonna be moving stuff around. So, starting tomorrow, I'll be in the living room set up so that the camera is going to pick up some fish tanks. So that'll be better. I'm getting rid of the big recliner. That's a 4 foot wide recliner. It's a monster. Takes up half the living room. It's very comfortable and very nice, but just way too big for what I've got here. And I really don't have space to, excuse me, to store it. So it's going to go on the curb, and whoever grabs it is going to be getting a $1,500 recliner. No follow up yet. My follow up is scheduled for November 15th. They wanted to see me in a month, and I didn't get back to them for a couple of weeks. So I put it off for another couple of weeks. I've stopped taking glyburide. I don't know if that's good, bad, or indifferent, but I have. I'm trying to control my food intake. That's always difficult, but I think the glyburide was holding my weight up. So I think if I can now get out and start walking consistently, I may be able to build some strength in my legs and lose some fat in my gut. That's the game plan. That's great. Through my extra plans. Oh, well, goldfish love. They like to eat string algae, actually. That's really good. You probably got a lot of baby goldfish in there. If you put some green water together or microworm culture, vinegar eel culture, or a maybe do a resurrection jar, you'll have enough material to feed the baby goldfish. Then you can get a bunch of goldfish going. Yeah, I think you're right, Danang. 6 months. In 6 months, you ought to be able to get control of it. You're pulling out everything that's growing. Of course, you're not going to get every bit of it until you do, and eventually you will. Well, the hospital does not do glyburide, and I have been on it for God knows 20 years probably. It stabilizes my blood sugar in the afternoon. So now I'm obliged to do a shot when I eat, which I was not doing before. So that's the difference. But if I can lose this jelly roll, I will be thrilled. I already got way too many. All right. By the way, anybody who wants to show their tank on the 24/7, get on Discord. There's a channel there where you can contact Luke and learn the app you need to download and the code you need to enter. And then once that comes up on his equipment, he'll get you going. Jeff Koski. Oh my. Can't get dwarf hairgrass to grow. Dwarf hairgrass is rough stuff. The only way I've been able to grow it is in shallow tanks, like 6 inches of water with a 1 inch substrate, a little bit of dirt and some sand. And I can grow it in that, but it's like one strand here and one strand there. I think the way to do it is to grow it immersed in mud with saran wrap cover on the tank and no water, just mud. I think if you do that, you can get a pretty good culture of it going. The problem then is, what do you do with it? What you have to do is you have to take it out in a mat, put it down in an empty tank with sand or dirt in it, and then carefully put half an inch or quarter inch of sand on it, enough to hold that dirt down. Fill it slowly to about an inch. Put a little more sand in. If you can get it really thick, then it will keep the dirt pretty well down. And you can if you try like some of the commercial products, they seem to work a little better because they're denser, they stay down, they're not like dirt doing this, and they've got some nutrients in them. So it's not a bad fix for trying to do mat growth. Yeah, there's the Discord link if you want to get on. All aqua soil and highlight. That's about it. I would start it immersed. Start it with no water. And just you can use the aqua soil. If you'll mix in with that aqua soil some humic material, or if you can get my supplement, mix that in with it. That's got a lot of humus in it too. That's going to give you a very nutrient rich, a little bit of like black calcium manure, maybe something richer. Mix it in with that aqua soil. Don't depend on just the aqua soil. It depletes pretty quickly. So if you can add to that, that'll help. And then wet it right to the surface. And if you can get seeds, put seeds in, or plugs, put plugs in. Cover the whole tank with saran wrap so the humidity stays at 100%. You can actually lay the saran wrap right on the bottom until they sprout and then bring it up, put it on the surface on the top of the tank. That'll get a carpet going. Jeff Koski, let's see if we can give you a wrench. Da Nang. Oh, nice. Doing Elisama Gilberti. That's nice. And Daisy Ricefish. What you saying, Gilberti babies? Very nice. Feeding paramecium twice a day. That works real well. Yeah, if you can get a good paramecium culture going, what's your media for your paramecium tonight? It's got a lot of live foods. That's terrific. AstroTurf. Ah, right. So it'll look like it. It works pretty well, actually. You got a real fine AstroTurf. Looks pretty good. The problem with it is that you can't get plants to grow down in it very well. It's a little too dense. Wheat berries and bread yeast. Yeast and wheat berries. That's interesting. Cool. I had a friend who had a goldfish farm, and that's what he fed his babies. He had huge paramecium cultures. And when he lost the culture, he would actually create a new one using his microscope by separating out just the paramecium. So it would be a pure paramecium culture. And he grew it capped, so nothing else got in there. All right. Conversation is finally taking hold, hasn't it? And where are we? We're at 25. We got more activity here now than we've had the whole hour. We'll keep going for a little while. See if it stays up. Denang, are you over on Discord? Have you gotten in there yet? I think you would enjoy the conversation there. We've got some people there who are doing a lot with microculture. And I'd like to get some Gilberti. EJ has a whole lot of Everglade fry and scarlet Batis fry. that she's shipping to me this week. So I'm going to have them in one of these tanks. I'm going to have to build up the microfauna for them. But we'll try to get them going so I'll be able to get some out to people. The Ass Queen says, I don't like a lot of people, but I love it here with other fish. You're a sweetheart, Bass Queen. You really are. Jeff Koski had a small disaster with my 20 long water Malaysian trumpet snails. Within 2 weeks, they all died. And now the tank has thousands of planaria. Bettas will eat planaria. What else eats planaria? Gouramis eat planaria. Most anything will if it's big enough. Angels will eat planaria. You can get control of that, but you're going to have to put a bunch of fish in there to do it. That's a mess. I don't think the snails dying caused it. I think they just came in with it. There should be trumpet snails down in the dirt. You may find in another month or so, you may find trumpet snails coming up onto the glass at night. They're probably not all gone. Mollies, yeah. James, where's James? Ooh. See what else is going on. I talked to my granddaughter at the birthday party yesterday. I had called her up and gave her a choice of a small tank or a large tank. Um, and I asked her yesterday which one she preferred, and she said, I can't have fish. Well, somebody warned me about that, and I think it was her grandmother. Turns out her mother has turned her house into an art piece. It is as refined and sophisticated as she is capable of making it. And she's on a pretty high level. So it is Queen of England level status. I may have a picture somewhere of the formal dining room. It's relatively astounding, but that means nothing that can get a drop of water on the floor or be in the least wise messy. So I guess that's out for now. As Queen said, my Molly's cleaned out a bad infestation of planaria. Yeah, that's good. I want to do Nanochroma species. Transvestite seems hard. I've had a couple. I've done a couple of nanos and I really like them. Let me get some pictures up here. I can do this. Nudiceps. Here's my favorite. uh, these are what's the river that runs east to west, cuts across Africa. It runs from Lake Victoria all the way over to the Atlantic Ocean. Anyway, a lot of these nanochromas are from the east side of the river, and some of them are caught in Tanganyika. I've had this one. Um, they're related to the pelvidochromis, which is the crevensis, and they're really pretty easy to spawn. They're a very excuse me, a very gentle fish. They're beautiful. They're just stunning. I love the delicate patterning that like on these, the delicate coloring. They're just a remarkably beautiful fish. Um, they tend to be a little hard to keep. You need to make sure you've got they're for the most part they're available wild caught. There aren't many people spawning them who have them available through the marketplace. You might find some on Aquabid, but generally, if you get them in, they're gonna be wild caught. I do have a possible source. Let me check on it and see what I can come up with. Nano's talking about trying to get a 1900s replica of an aquarium. I had a 1900, actually 1895 aquarium that I donated to an aquarium museum that ZooMed was trying to get built. Never heard more about it. Don't know what happened with that. Look at these guys. Aren't they amazing? Just gorgeous, gorgeous fish. And so many varieties, so many species. Look at that one. Look at that. It looks like a panchax, doesn't it? Looks like a killifish. Amazing stuff. Yeah, it's a matter of getting stock. I've had this one, the nudiceps. It's a pretty one. I need to make an effort. That's a fish I had to do. I agree with you totally. I think that's something I want to try to get back, and maybe I can get those going. My water though, it's not going to lend itself to them. My water is 6.0. Kind of a problem. Look at this. We're at 31 people. We're getting stronger as we go. It's funny. Joanne Ensling. Hello, hello. Antique Turn of the Century Aquarium. Boy, if you can find one, they're a little hard to come by, and they're worth whatever you can afford to pay. I need to get into some of these old antiques down here. There may be one around somewhere. The Splendens. Yeah, I had Splendens. Stone and metal frame, that's right. Yeah. JBVM, take care. There's a new shop at Craig's. There's a new shop in Venice where I closed mine. And they're getting pretty good support. I've been hearing about them. I've talked to them a little bit. It's people who were customers of my shop. Why they didn't buy mine, I don't know. I've had that happen 3 times. Silver Creek, hello, hello. Good to see you. Yeah, Danang, I have not bred them, so I kept them. I know they're escape artists. You gotta be careful where you keep them. That they're in an environment that they cannot escape. They like to go into tiny little holes, little caverns and caves. So you might want to create some of those, but don't let that include an overflow tube, or they will be in it and gone. Then I'm suggesting to make your own tank out of wrought iron and glass. That would be cool. Um, Ray Smokey saw Cyclops. Yeah, absolutely, there could be more. Um, and Cyclops is a really good, larger food. Um, it's really a macro fauna compared to things like paramecium. Silver Creek, I think angle iron and old square tubing. That's interesting. Huh. Vascoin talking about a bait shop selling old display cases with thick treated glass. Interesting. Angle iron glass and a slab of slate. Yup. Absolutely. All right. I think we're going to draw a line in the sand here. Be back Wednesday morning. We're going to do a Discord forum tomorrow night, Monday night, 7 o'clock. It'll be broadcast here, 7 o'clock Monday night. If you are on Discord and want to get on Discord, you can come up and be on the stream. We've done a few, and they're a lot of fun. So we'll do that. Johan Enslin put some dry wood I collected in my tank without cleaning it. Nothing bad. My fish is picking on it, and shrimp love it. What's your take on this? My take on it is you did the right thing. You did what you're supposed to do. You find it out in the wild, you pick it up, you carry it home, you put it in the tank. Any intermittent steps are going to reduce the influence of Mother Nature in your aquarium. So good job. Get some fungus on it, right? Fungus. Fungus among us. Breeding around cave. Nice. All right, guys. Love you all. We'll see you tomorrow night. We'll be here tomorrow night around 7, broadcasting from the Discord channel. So come on over, jump up, and be a part of that. Love you all. Take care for now. Bye-bye.